Yes, ma'am. It is in live now. Okay. Good evening, one and all present here. A very warm welcome to everyone present today. Today, may I now call upon Dr. Punita ma'am uh, to preside the welcome address and introducing our chief guest of today's program.
Good evening to one and all present here. In this wonderful occasion, I am delighted to welcome you all to this professional skill development program organized by SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Faculties of Science and Humanities, the Department of Commerce on the theme Interdisciplinary Excellence, Integrating Tech, Ethics and Creativity. In this session, aims to foster the awareness and understanding of how the interdisciplinary learning, combining technology, ethical values, creativity, and can transform the academic and professional landscape. It is an important step in equipping ourselves to embrace the educational reforms and empowering the future generation. This is not just a lecture, but step towards preparing ourselves and our students for the evolving academic and professional world, whether skills, values, and innovations must be go hand in hand. I would like to welcome our Dean Sir, VP Admin Sir, and Head of the Department could not able to present with us today due to the prior commitments. However, this program is being conducted with the kind permissions and support of our institution management, for which we are deeply grateful. We are privileged to have with us Dr. K. Satyamurthy sir, Associate Professor and Head the PG Department of Social Work, aided MSSW Chennai as our esteemed resource person. He is he will be enlightening us on holistic and multidisciplinary educations, which is one of the core vision of the NEP 2020. He has 27 years of experience in teaching, research, training in the field of social work. Throughout his career, he has held various academic and administrative positions, including Controller of Examination, IQAC Coordinator, Head of the Department, Acting Principal, Assistant Director, Training Coordinator, and Social Scientist. He is a member of several important boards, including Board of Studies in Social Work, Selection Committee, UGC Straight Project Expert Panel. He has successfully supervised 13 PhD scholars, with the two currently in the process of being awarded with a degree. He is also a supervising six additional PhD candidates and has adjudicated numerous PhD theses as an examiner and as the chairman of public viva's examination at various Indian universities. In addition, he has guided 14 MPhil scholars and two of his research work has been awarded patent while two others has been assigned copyright by the government of India. He has authored 14 books and contributed numerous edited volumes. He has published over 100 research articles and book chapter, is renowned in national and international journals including those indexed in Scopus, Web of Science, and UGC CAP. He is also serve as a various editorial and review board for the journal. Furthermore, he has completed over 15 research and consultancy projects funded by the Central State Ministry, UGC, ICSSR, and various national and international organizations. He has organized four international conferences, 12 national conferences and seminars, and he has conducted many workshops and training programs for the faculty and research scholars focused on the advanced research and social work. This shows the amazing work he has done for the academic and for the services to the educational field. I, on behalf of the organizing team, so this program is not an individual work. With the organizing team, I extend a warm welcome to our resource person, all our faculty members, the head of the department, research scholars of various institutions who has joined us virtually today. Really, I want to give a sincere thankful to our HOD Ambli Madam also, I, Deepa Madam, Janice Madam, and Kumar Sir. I thank each one of them are joined together. Thank you. Now, I hand over the session to our resource person.
Thank you, ma'am.
So,
Thank you,
welcome,
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you. Welcome. Very good evening to one and all present here. It is great pleasure. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It is great pleasure for me to be a resource person for a great institution, SRM Institute. And thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. K. Punitha, ma'am, for wonderful introduction. And I am just still today I'm learning about research and especially in the context of new education policy. And I think already I've displayed my PPT. Ma'am, Alamil, ma'am, my PPT is visible. Shall I go to the PPT? Is the PPT is okay, ma'am? Hello? Yeah. Ma'am, my the PPT is working? Yeah. Yeah. So my topic of today is holistic and multidisciplinary education, cultivating future ready minds. When you look at the topic itself, it's a great opportunity for a researcher, an academician to understand how to convert an idea into researchable area where you can make this particular beautiful topic researchable, create a kind of innovations in the field of the education. So having this opportunity, let me have a great privilege to introduce a great topic of what is holistic education. Holistic education, when you look at holistic, what it means, I just want to understand myself. When you look at the holistic education, it is something which focuses on the development of the humankind in terms of a whole person. The development in terms of looking at different dimensions or different domains. It starts from intellectual, then social, then emotional, physical, and creative aspects. A person, an individual, would like to become a full person, overall development. There are a lot of theories. If you look at psychoanalytic, if you look at psychological theories and social theories, and several theories as given are paved way for individuals to become a holistic individuals. In that context, intellectually we need to be strong, socially, emotionally, physical, and creatively we have to be very strong in particular field of education. So today's context, if you look at having ASI, artificial super intelligence, the world of when we were in 30 years before, 3 decades before, we never understand the technological innovations will go like this. It's astonishing that the technology has given a lot of pathways for us to learn and share. Today, one of the kind of thing which we are sharing and sitting very aramse in our own areas, and we are able to interact and have a great learning for us. This learning platform has given a wonderful opportunity for us to interact. So which is given a great opportunity for us to intellectually look at it, socially, emotionally, physically, and creative. So in that context, how this has to be integrated. So this holistic education has to be integrated in different subjects, say it is arts, commerce, arts or science or technology, engineering. Now people are looking at internationally interdisciplinary area of research, interdisciplinary area of teaching. So this integrated different subjects in terms of disciplines to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the world. Yeah, very important for us to understand as a scientist, as an academician, as an education person, to understand the individual in a different dimension. That's what it helps. How this holistic education goes into that is nurturing. What is the aim of it? It is supposed to nurture the student's ability to think critically and make them to understand the situation and solve the problems, and having solving problem, having a great situation. There are different kind of situations which we to COVID has helped us to understand the real world of situations, psychosocial problems, and having a lot of difficult situations, a lot of new kind of situations. This particular education helps us to understand, which gives holistic education gives and emphasize the development of life skills. Life skills, again, it starts from communication. There are 10 life skills which we are talking about. It starts from communication, collaboration, and ethical decision making. Whatever it may be, one side there's a technology, the other side there is a kind of inheritance of great values of a country. Having all this, how ethically we are, how ethical decision making involved. So all these components uh, congruence the holistic education in the country, in the globe. And having one side of holistic education, the other side, if you look at the discipline, multidisciplinary education, having holistic knowledge, having the multidisciplinary approach, how we are going to make our important stakeholder of the student community to promote quality education. That gives a great pathway for us. How we are doing, we encourage the students to explore connections, the networking. The networking and connections has very important role in the important disciplines of with different between the different subjects and disciplines across disciplines. How it is happening to integrate the knowledge and perspectives. The perspectives in terms of science and arts and technology varies, and to the development of an individual in the various fields to address the complex issues. Today, there is a kind of science advancement in terms of medicine. People, doctors and scientists have identified a medicine for treating the cancer patient. And artificial intelligence, the other end, giving a lot of assessments, fast, needy assessment. So this kind of complex issues has been addressed through technology and development, which promotes this multidisciplinary education. When you work in multidisciplinary team, it gives you a lot of promotion in terms of critical thinking, problem solving, and the ability to apply knowledge in terms of diverse context. So one person, single person looking at one dimension has gone into different dimensions now. We're looking at a problem in different perspective, looking into different context of the environment where the individuals are living, and we are trying to solve the problem, make them to think critically and analyze and apply the knowledge which expertise have in that particular field. So indirectly or directly, as academician, we try to guide the students, might be a students of undergraduates, postgraduates, or as scholars of research. We create a lot of knowledge system, knowledge base in terms of new and emerging fields. As I told you, today we are living in the artificial intelligence world, a new and emerging fields. We're fostering the adaptability. And as a person, when I was doing my masters, I never knew, we never had a email ID in terms of engineized. It is a Western. My mail ID is satyamurthy@yahoo.co.uk. Today we are having email in a different dimensions, different versions, and you have no Copilot, a lot of artificial intelligence tools and techniques. So these emerging fields has to be, we have to adapt, and we have to make the students to faster and have a broader perspectives in terms of different dimensions. So coming into the holistic, and when you combine this holistic and multidisciplinary education, what is it really aims for it? It really aims for the preliminary aspects of in terms of well-rounded learning experience, which integrates different aspects of knowledge and personality development. So we have to create a human being with a knowledge and also having a great person, a overall development of an individual by fostering the critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability. This particular approach, holistic and multidisciplinary approach, moves beyond traditional subject, that is specific learning, to encourage students to see connections between various disciplines and get deeper knowledge and develop a deeper knowledge and more comprehensive in terms of understanding the world which we are going to live in. That is a great example of COVID-19, which has given a lot of examples. And now we are in the different world of development in terms of technology, in terms of development terms. When you go to the basic agenda, when you in 2015, before 2015, we were talking about Millennium Development Goals. In 2015 onwards, we are talking about SDG, Sustainable Development Goals, which is an agenda of reflecting the SDG goals in 2030 by reaching sustainable development adopted in the year 2015, which seeks to ensure inclusive and equitable quality education, and promote lifelong learning opportunity for all. Which is lifelong learning is something which, and it helps us to understand. That's the goal of SDG. The fourth goal of SDG talks about it. In that context, new education policy as framed in the year 2020 and which advocates for a holistic and multidisciplinary framework to break the silos of compartmentalization learning, which is again further developed, further fine-tuned, and designed to make learning more holistic, skill driven, and inclusive. Very important. You have to learn holistically and also skill based, and also this skill driven has to go very inclusive in nature. That is what the general understanding about new education policy and SDG. If you look at the sustainable goals and the new education policy, what it really creates in terms of holistic and multidisciplinary education has emerged as a transformative approach in a modern pedagogy, aiming to nurture well-rounded individuals equipped with diverse skills and competencies. Each and every individual is having a lot of competency. Those competencies and skills has to be diverse in nature, and it has to be well-rounded for the entire generation of this world. This holistic education, as I told you earlier, focuses on personalized learning paths, integrated life skills, environmental awareness, and technological literacy, which creates responsible global citizens capable of contributing for sustainable development. If you look at this statement, which is very beautifully said, personalized learning, with personalized learning paths which has to integrate life skills, communication, problem solving. So those things has to be integrated, and the environmental awareness in the sense the place where we live, what is the requirement when you go continental, the culture based. So those are awareness is very important, and the very important point which we are talking about, the technological literacy. Each and everyone has to have the technological literacy, which helps us to create kind of interdisciplinary or holistic approach. If you do that, this creates a responsible global citizen capable of contributing to sustainable development. That is what indirectly the holistic education guides us. If you look at the other side of the coin, multidisciplinary education on the other hand encourages cross-functional knowledge. Having a science group, science faculty, knowing about the arts, knowing about the technology. Now we cannot live alone as science faculty or arts faculty as arts faculty. It has to be integrated. This cross-functional knowledge is very, very important for an academician or researcher. And this cross-functional knowledge has to be with innovations. Now, what is the novelty of this particular research? What is the novelty of teaching? That is what we look for. And when you do that, if you go to any kind of funding, all the funding organization will look at more on collaborative process across diverse fields. Across diverse field, more interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary nature. If you do, it cultivates adaptability, lifelong learning, habits essential for the success of dynamic global economy. We look at the superpower countries like India. India is one of the greatest country in the world, having a lot of resources, human resources, has a lot of development in terms of this particular process. So, going back to the focus of our national education policy, which is given 2020, higher education curriculum have a flexibility of subjects. If everyone is understanding about the flexibility in terms of subjects, multiple entry and exit is allowed with the proposed appropriate certifications, diploma to degree to the integrated 5 years and the PhD level of research degree. There is an academic bank of credit has been established to facilitate the credit transfer across the Kashmir to Kanyakumari. If I want to study, the candidate as a student can across discipline, he can go and facilitate this. There is a lot of facilitation in terms of ABC, academic bank of credits. The other end, if you look at the National Research Foundation, which is established to foster a strong research culture in the country. The other coin, which we talks about affiliation system to be phased out in 15 years with a with a greater autonomy to colleges. And NEP advocates increased use of technology with equity. National Education Forum also has created has been created for the purpose of this particular technology use and equity, and in terms of credit transfers and all this. If you look at the National Education Policy 2020, emphasize setting up a gender inclusion fund and special education zones for disadvantaged regions and groups. Then there is a National Institute for Persian and Indian Institute of Translation and Interpretation to be set up in various organizations to cater the needs of the objective of NEP. Then universalization of education for preschool to secondary level with 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. That is the greatest move by the government of India, making 100% education, that is gross enrollment ratio has to be increased. When you say gross enrollment ratio in terms of higher education, it has to be raised to 50% by 2035. That is a global agenda. That's a country agenda of new education policy. 3.5 crore seats to be added in the higher education. That's what the government of India is looking for. The other side, NEP will bring 2 crore out of school children back into the mainstream. When you look at the new education policy, the glimpses of new education policy talks about new 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 school curriculum with 12 years of schooling and 3 years of Anganwadi preschooling, which has been already there. It is regulated in mainstreaming education. There's no rigid separation between academic streams, extracurricular, vocational streams in schools. When we studied, we had vocational courses, we had extracurricular. Now there is no rigid separations. It's included part of the academics. And vocational education to start from class 6 with internships. What is the importance in this particular is internships, hands-on experience. This education, the important stakeholder of students has to have hands-on experiences, whatever they learn in the classroom, they need to go to the field and practice it. That's what internship looking at after the class 6. So that is what the greatest move by the government of India, teaching up to at least grade 5 to be in mother tongue or regional language. This is the glimpses of the new education policy in terms of national education. See, I was coming to the next thing when I was talking about disciplinaries. If you look at this disciplinary, gone are the days we talk about single disciplines. We don't work single disciplines. By one way or the other, we have been compelled or practiced or trained to have the first discipline. Which discipline, when you talk about in research, we generally talk about there are different disciplines. One is disciplinary within one academic discipline. Discipline is within the goal setting and develops new discipline and knowledge. Science means science, commerce means commerce. If you look at the first image, first diagram, if it talks about this diagram, which talks about single discipline. This is highly specialized. There's nothing wrong in doing that, but it is successfully done by their forefathers, and they have done a wonderful contribution to the education system in the country. And but we don't collaborate or we don't cooperate with the other disciplines,
I
and
think
we
change
develop
the
very
slides.
detailed. So, ma'am,
Slide, slides is not moving.
no, not moved, ma'am. Now, is it okay, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Is it
Yes, sir.
moving? Yeah.
No,
Okay.
yeah. Now only
Yeah.
it is moving.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I was talking about this, the holistic education, multidisciplinary education. I was talking about the global agenda of the education, new education policy. These are the new education policy, and the national education policy is which is looking at 2025 now. Then now I'm going to the next step about discipline. Now it is visible, I think so. Yeah. Yeah. This is disciplinary. In terms of disciplines, I was talking about single discipline. Within one discipline, we are talking about a lot of research, a lot of training which has happened. There's nothing wrong in doing that. Now we are going to the next world of multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary. Then there are a lot of research is going on transdisciplinary, especially in South Africa and other countries. People are working more on transdisciplinary. I was having an opportunity to work with the UGC Stride project with one university as a consultant, as an expert panel member to train the entire university in transdisciplinary on a particular field, on a particular domain. So there, I had an opportunity to work with the physical education teacher, language teacher, linguistic, and going to science, that is physics, chemistry, and psychology, and arts, and engineering. So combining of all this, we have done a wonderful transdisciplinary research. So this transdisciplinary research has given a very wide information and lot of learning. Now I'm working on my book on transdisciplinary research. I will be publishing very soon on that particular transdisciplinary research. So put it very simple in a nutshell, this single disciplinary is one discipline, either science or arts or commerce. Within the discipline, we work. Multidisciplinary is more than one, more than two. Interdisciplinary, again, science with arts, arts with science. But transdisciplinary is combination of all the disciplines we work on the, which gives a synthesized and integrated knowledge of new disciplines where you can create a lot of theories among science and society. That is what this transdisciplinary and multidisciplinary gives you the leverage to understand the holistic education in terms of the to attain the global agenda of or national agenda of new education policy also. So going to the next step, how this particular holistic and multidisciplinary education is practiced as new education policy. The first one is learner-centered approach. Gone are the days we have no curriculum, we develop a curriculum, we teach and we conduct examination. Now this curriculum development is comes from the beneficiaries or the stakeholders. The beneficiaries are put into very simple in a business model. That comes from a custom. So most of our board of studies, if you look at the alumnus, the employer, the employees, the employer will be the board of studies member, and the students who get educated are the members. So the learners are the stakeholders or important stakeholder to decide about the curriculum. So with that objective, the holistic and multidisciplinary education has created a kind of holistic approach in terms of understanding the learner-centered approach, which focuses on individual learning styles based on the interest of the learners and the abilities, not necessarily the interest, and also the abilities of learning. See, there are different kinds of, if you look at the mentally, intellectually challenged, if you look at, there are kind of, there are three major classifications in intellectual challenge: mild, moderate, severe. Apart from, there are mentally ill, there are normal children, there are children have special needs, there are students comes with a lot of difficulties in terms of economic and intellectually. So those abilities has to be focused, and we have to create a personalized learning experiences. We say weaker students, add-on classes, we do a lot of special handholding, mentoring. All this comes under the holistic approach and multidisciplinary process. The second part, which how we can practice or implement the holistic and multidisciplinary education, is that integration of disciplines, combining the arts, science, humanities, and vocational studies to promote comprehensive understanding. Comprehensive understanding about the particular. We have vocational courses, we have elective courses, interdisciplinary courses. Those courses, those subjects, those courses will be offered in a programs. These programs will become a disciplines. So more on interdisciplinary in terms of or multidisciplinary in terms of practices. The third one is experiential learning. As I told you, new education policy talks about the internships. In social work, fortunately in social work, we have 60-40 curriculum. What is 60-40 curriculum, which talks about in social work? The 60% theory, the 40% practice. Theory into practice. We teach them students 3 days in a class, 2 days in a field. The 2 days in the field, they go into the field and they learn in the organization. For example, human resource management, there are 6 specializations in social work. In the 6 specialization, human resource management is predominantly uh, high in demand, and the community development, medical and psychiatric, correctional administration, it goes on, environment, ethics. Then we have there are a lot of other human rights, so social with families and children, those specializations. For example, human resource management. The course teachers will teach subjects in the classroom like human resource management, labor law, organization development, organization behavior. Those subjects are trained or learned in the field, in the corporate organization. We send them for a field work. That's an experiential learning. They go to the field and they learn the next 2 days in the field with the practitioners in the field. And also most of our assignments are experiential learning. We have two kind of assignments in the curriculum. One is in class, the other one is take home assignment. The in class assignment is something which the innovation of the student. They do a lot of in class based case studies. They do one to one experiential learnings. They have peer learning process. And take home assignments is more on field based. They do a documentary. They go to the field and do case studies. Their labor code they prepare. These are experiential learning. Apart from this, the students will be going to the field and learning from emphasis more on hands-on experiences, project-based learnings, which connects theory into practice application. The fourth one talks about development of life skills. Developments of life skill, which means, as I told you, there are 10 life skills by WHO. These 10 life skills, starting from communication, problem solving, critical thinking, those life skills or incorporates in critical thinking. Very, very important in today's context, emotional intelligence, emotional well-being of an individual. That is very important. How emotionally we are strong and how we are able to communicate the process. How we are able to communication is supposed to be a two-way process where the sender and receiver has to receive the whatever sender is sending, the receiver has to receive. Now my slide is not moving. So there is a communication, there is a feedback, there is a mechanism which is available. So based on the feedback, the sender has to take it to the next level of understanding based on the receiver's information, based on the feedback from the receivers, it has to be modified. Communication. And very, 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 very vital for us, collaborative. See, as I was talking from the beginning, it is a collaboration between the student and the teacher, between the administrator and the teacher, between the community and the teacher, between community and the student, between the entire world of community has to collaborate for a education process. And now we talk about PPP model, we talk about artificial intelligence based education system. All this has more on collaborative mode of education system. Today we are collaborating for purpose of understanding a holistic multidisciplinary education process, and that has to happen with an adaptability. We cannot be very stringent. We cannot be very rigid in terms of adaptability. Adaptability is we have to adapt for this change of the world. Change is inevitable. We have to change according to the phase of the community. The phase when we talk about the situation to the community, whatever happens today, we are talking about AI, and already AS has come. Artificial super intelligence is in place. Robots are in place. So we have to adapt and we have to work for it. There is a kind of back of our mind. We have a problem thinking that when the artificial intelligence will spoil economy or employment opportunity. I don't think so. All machines cannot work human cannot work machine like. So there are kind of a balance between these things that has to be decided by the community. As a community is something which we are talking about, very important. The teachers has the important role in doing this. The fifth one is all is fine, learning is fine, integration is fine, experience learning is there, and development has to happen. But having all this, there are very important line is the ethical responsibility and the moral education. How ethical we are, how ethical. There are a lot of we know plagiarism check, we have a lot of things. Integrity in terms of ethical encourages a value system. We have a value system. India known for value. Our family values are very, very vital across the globe. Everyone looked at Indians are very great in value system. And our integrity, the values goes to such as integrity. We are very empathetical. We are emotionally empathetical, and we have a lot of social responsibility. This is the very important. We have to help the children to understand the ethical responsibility and moral education. That's what we look for. We have to encourage the children, the very important stakeholder students. And the last one, which we are talking about, how this holistic and multidisciplinary action education can happen. Global citizens. There's no kind of no India or countries can work alone. We have to work alone. Global world. Globalization happened when LPG came in. Liberalization, privatization, globalization came in. There are diversity in terms of diverse process happened. Global citizenship, global village. We are living in a global village, so which promotes awareness of global issues, the cultural diversity, and we have to prepare the student for exchange programs. See, for example, understanding the cross-cultural learnings, country to country learning, the situations, the development happens in across the globe, preparing students to understand. Because our students may be, after graduation, they may work across the globe. If you say from Madras Law Social, our own alumni are working across the globe. You name any company, there will be one HR from Madras Law Social. If you go to any country, Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Canada, anywhere, our own graduates, our own alumni are working across the globe because the education 75, 74 years, the education is given to them. They venture into different organizations. To name any organization, in especially human resource, the alumni from Erasmus Social will be there. So that is kind of no preparation which we have to make it. Thanks to the new education policy, thanks to the technology, thanks to the great institutions of education and the corporate organization and social development organization, we are preparing these children to contribute for a sustainability. That is what the goal of holistic and multidisciplinary approach. So, what is that this particular multidisciplinary looks at? This is beyond textbook. Embrace the holistic education. We look at the, as I told you, we look at the student as whole. This whole is something which is intellectual. How this education is going to make the children very intellectual, very strong and emotional, balanced emotional. Well-being of emotion is very, emotional well-being is very, very important. Psychological well-being, physical well-being, social well-being is looked at about the children and with ethical responsibility. That has to be looked into, and closing the gap, it moves beyond traditional cognitive focus to involve vital soft skills. As I told you, vital soft skills. Now, if you look at, no, we do self grooming as a soft skill workshop. We talk about technology like, no, Excel. We talked about later point of 5 years before MS Office. No, then we talked about how to work with Excel. Now we don't talk about all this because that is a kind of artificial intelligence helps us to do all this. Now we are talking of how to present yourself, self grooming, presentation, how to strengthen your emotions, virtual learning, and integrative learning. All this happens through soft skill. We give soft skill to students in terms of understand the reality, understand the world, how to balance their emotions, how to be a social animal in terms of the global village. That is what the thrust of this today's education system. And very important is next one is the career satisfaction. The attrition rate has increased across the globe. If you look at the graduates after passing out, they get into employment. For example, they get into employment immediately. In the third semester, the campus recruitment happens. By the end of the fourth semester, they get the job, and after that their attrition rate is increasing because they are not satisfied with what they have. We are, as a teachers, we say that getting job and become assistant professor to associate to professor, greatest thing. After professor, become a dean and HOD is the greatest thing. But nowadays, people are earning more than that, and they have a lot of no leverages of earning, leverages of no lot of no developments. But having that, there's other end of attrition is happening. Job is something which career is something which is people are not satisfied about what they have. So we have to help the children or student to have a career satisfaction. Job satisfaction is very, very important in the higher education system. So 20% higher education career satisfaction is not something which we have to look into that. That's what this particular education, this holistic, multidisciplinary, because when you go to the work, you can work. For example, when I go to the organization where they expect me to be all-round employee, when before the 10, 15 years, there are people on specialist skill on one particular field. Now, junk of all fruits. I have to operate computer, I have to create report, I have to create no data visualization data. Those things has to be very, very well versed. So you need to have a well around knowledge in the holistic development. That's a multidisciplinary knowledge and experience we need to have. And the last one, which I would like to talk to you about in this particular breaking the silos, is that this adaptability. Again and again, these few words, if you look at it, comes repeatedly. Fostering resilience. Resilience has to be very, very important. Thanks to COVID has helped us to how resilient we are. Whatever happens, we have to come back and make the thing happen. This resilience should have with well-being, with adaptability in complex environment, any disaster, any situations. The children, the younger generation, Gen Z, has to be helped to understand, to have a resilience, having good well-being in in terms of intellectual, emotional, social, and physical well-being. Very importantly, the economic well-being. All this with the ethical responsibility and adapt to different situations. Fine. So I was talking of breaking silos, the power of multidisciplinary learning. This is the greatest tool which everyone enjoy as a teacher. Integrated knowledge. Integrated knowledge is combining methods and perspectives from diverse fields. As a social work faculty, I teach a medical and psychiatric. Medical and psychiatrics, medical and psychiatric aspects. Gone are the days we don't talk about only a doctors having MBBS or MD will handle. There, the psychiatric social workers or medical social workers have the role to play. Intake to intake from a patient comes into OP to the discharge of a patient, getting no kind of insurance, all facilities. The social workers are involved from end to end. Their doctors prescribe medical prescription, social workers prescribe the social prescription, and support services, therapeutic interventions. Where if you look at doctors are involved, nurses are involved, pharmacists are involved, their social workers are involved, psychologists are involved, mental health professionals are involved. It is a well-around knowledge or multidisciplinary knowledge is involved in the diverse field. Then the second very important power of multidisciplinary is that real world relevance. Real world relevance is that It is hands-on experiences, addresses complex challenges, required integrated solution. If you look at the children today, very innovative, very technologically sound. So we need to give assignments. We make them to be very novel, innovative. If I look at the assignments when you give a student, they do great innovations. That's what the innovation driver talks about, where the interdisciplinary teams generate more impactful research and discoveries. See, one of my PhD scholars working on the artificial super intelligence on mental health assessments. Like, no, there is a many mental status examination. There's assessment of mental health status by 7 major domains. Those artificial super intelligence will help the individuals or professionals to assess the impact, assess the individual growth, individual behavior in a fraction of seconds. So those technology is something which is innovations are appreciated. That is what the power of multidisciplinary learning. So how tangible outcomes when we look at this, the student success and global competency, when we do that, what will happen? Multidisciplinary or holistic education will give you is that it definitely make the critical thinking. This out of 100%, 15%, this as per the study, it says critical thinking plays a very, very important role, and critical thinking skills significantly contributed for career readiness, adaptability, and civic engagements. So this critical thinking is a primary role, a primary responsibility, and a primary skill for people like us to help the children, our school children, or college students to understand and take innovations or take decisions based on the critical situations. Then the second point is the very important problem solving. This gives you the independent leverage for the students take decisions. The problem solving will help. There are 15-18% of the children are able to take decisions then and there, enhance the complex problem solving abilities. Having this multidisciplinary and holistic approach, this enable the career readiness. Most of the youngsters today getting job is very, 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 very easy nowadays. Campus recruitment happens, people are getting placed, and they are able to have interdisciplinary knowledge and interdisciplinary skills. They are able to adapt, and they are able to have civic engagement, fostering the ethical reasoning and global citizenship. That is what this tangible outcome which they are looking at from the holistic approach. And very important, the pedagogical playbook. What is that playbook which I'm talking about is that the readiness of the curriculum, courses, and the assessment pattern which we are putting across the institutions of today in India. All the institutions are working very beautifully of developing the pedagogy. This pedagogy or the course curriculum is very beautifully designed, having no refined continuously with the help of the important stakeholder of students and the employers and the corporate organization, the agencies, the community are involved in developing the curriculum across the globe, across the country. This gives you the greatest opportunity for us to integrate the syllabus in terms of project-based learning, design the capstone of projects spanning multiple disciplines, and co-taught courses, collaborative and with colleagues from various departments. A science department offering a ethics, history, ethics department, history department offering a science course. So that gives you co-taught courses of several organizations and service learning. Connect academic content to real community challenges. Taking children, for example, in social work, we have a component called rural camp. We take the first year PG students to a village, a tribal village, put them into a village, learn them the culture, the problems of or the positive things of the villages, let them learn, cook themselves and do a lot of activities, interact with them, learn. Learning happens from the community. What kind of challenges they live in and how the challenges have been managed by the community. Those kind of activity and project-based learning. And we have no kind of project field work, a rural camp, and we have components like no lot of other components which we have built in a pedagogy. Then experiential learning. This experiential learning have a lot of simulation models. So kind of OBT, outbound training programs, which will give team building exercises and self-awareness exercises, and we give a lot of more skill-based, therapeutic intervention-based awareness, and have a lot of more simulation models for the children across all institutions have developed. It has been synchronized towards a new education policy. This internship, as I told you, internships and field studies. This post-graduation, undergraduates go to the community, go to the field, and learn from the community and rework and try to submit an assignment. That is the greatest learning. They come and present. There's a peer learning process happens. These are a great example. And if you look at example of this particular process happens, there are smart cities. Course could be co-taught by urban planning, computer science, and sociology faculty. Yeah, this example of smart cities, for example, most of the cities have become a smart city in terms of no, the infrastructure development, the urban planning. There's a MS in urban planning. There's a MCA computer applications. There's a MA sociology. Sociology faculty or sociology students will look at the sociological aspects of society, a community, an institution in the community. The computer science expert will be GP and the how this GPRS, how this technological innovations. The urban planning will look at the infrastructure, how this infrastructure has to be developed in smart city. I just give an example of this. Like this, there are a lot of co-op co-taught courses can be included across the discipline. And then, sorry, then the faculty, we don't call faculty now, we call facilitators, we call mentors, we call the guides, and we call the facilitator as a shifting. We have roles has been shifted from teacher, professor to facilitator, mentor, and the guides, and it has become lecture to mentor. Lecture to mentor has become guiding students through complex and open-ended problems. I was having an opportunity of working with the University of London, London School of Economics syllabus, where we had 1 hour 30 minutes class. After this 1 hour 30 minutes class, I have 1 hour 30 minutes of mentorship. So this mentorship, having a individual graded mentorship, I will be assigned as a teacher, as a lecturer. I have six students. These six students has to be mentored outside the curriculum also. Their personal, their intellectual development, their requirements has to be looked into with the ethical aspects. So there is a kind of guiding students through complex and open-ended problems of the mentorship. Then this mentorship happens through collaborations, seeking interdepartmental partnerships and course development. If I found any students need of help, in Madras School of Social, what I do, we have a disciplines like psychology, we have discipline like human resource management, we have discipline like social entrepreneurship, we have discipline like development studies. If any individual, any student is having a support in terms of counseling support required, we refer to a a psychology department where they do counseling. So interdepartmental partnerships. If psychology students need to work with human resource, they collaborate with human resource management, even not only for a practice, but also academic curriculum design also. Developing learning outcomes through span of multiple domains. Curriculum development. For example, we have human resource management students need to learn about Excel, financial management. They need to learn about the artificial intelligence. They need to learn about the augmented learning or virtual learning. We tend to get the expert from the computer science background or data deep learning process or machine learning process. The experts will be invited to give courses on that. So when we do that, it happens a professional development. So there are a lot of workshops apart from the theory in the class, practice in the field. A lot of workshops. We conducted no ability enhancement courses, that is earlier called as certificate courses. The ability enhancement courses will be outside the syllabus. These workshops will help them 30 hours in a semester. This will be identified by the students. For example, non-HR students will be working on HR analytics. HR students will be working on CSR. The HR students will be working on mental health and well-being. The psychology students will be working on the studying on the social work, understanding the society or community. Those things will be helpful for more active learning and will have an assessment of a professional development. So University Grants Commission also supports cross-disciplinary course creation, fostering innovation. If you go to the University Grants Commission or any other accreditation organization, they look at more on cross-disciplinary or interdisciplinary approaches, multidisciplinary approaches. So institution enabler, we don't call ourselves organization, we call enablers. Now the UGC has given a 8-point guidelines last week. It is called enablers. There are enablers in terms of research, in terms of our curriculum, in terms of enabling process. So this institution enablers cultivate a supportive ecosystem. The institution has become ecosystem. Cross-departmental centers, establishing hubs, eco club, environment club, then anti-narcotic clubs. There are centers in terms of Rotary clubs. Those hubs, there are kind of social entrepreneurship, entrepreneurship cells. Those clubs and centers will create. There are centers. We have 6 centers in the college. Center for Labor Studies, Center for Social Justice. Government of Tamil Nadu has funded to a 2 year center for a 2 crore project, which predominantly work with the tribal or no PVTGs, primitive tribal groups, and vulnerable tribal groups. They work with, and this as a flexible curriculum. The intention will be placed in the centers. There's a center for social entrepreneurs. There's a center for youth resource center. So those flexibility we have in terms of enabler process. And this flexible curriculum, thanks to UGC autonomy, we are able to formulate our own curriculum and we are able to develop a college as a ecosystem. Then funding initiatives, which has given a lot of grants, innovative collaborative projects. A science student, science faculty can collaborate with the arts faculty can collaborate with management, management faculty can collaborate with technology, technical, management faculty can collaborate with the linguistic, and linguistic faculty can collaborate with technology. So those will be a very great opportunity. There's a university, Minerva University in global project-based curriculum achieved 98% of post-graduation placement. That's a success story. If you go back and read about Minerva University's global university's background, they say that and 98% post-graduate placement happens because of the project-based curriculum. That's a true story for us. More an enabler system. Then the future learning, it is going to be what I conceive is for next 10 years, it is going to be a collective commitment. The what is the key takeaway from us is that generally as a generation of between the Zen and Y, Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, we are in between these generations. The takeaway for this particular process, the holistic and multidisciplinary approaches are necessity, not just trends. It's a necessity. It's a need of the day. It's a need of the hour. It has to go embrace these pedagogies to empower students for an unpredictable future. Because we cannot predict. Today we have AI, ASI. Tomorrow what will happen, we don't know. We have to prepare and we have to adapt ourselves. Our vision, in the sense, the general vision of all teachers is graduates equipped with comprehensive skills, ready to innovate and lead the entire nation. That is what the future learning for us. And what generally, as I to conclude, what I would like to talk to you is that the holistic and multidisciplinary education enhance critical thinking and create a lot of problem solving process, independent thinking. This critical thinking is having a lot of domains here. If you look at these domains, looks at why critical thinking is necessary. If you look at these domains, I will help you to understand the creativity, create a lot of empathy, and it has a lot of great opportunity for individuals to learn. The second point, which is this holistic and multidisciplinary education will facilitate the increased adaptability, lifelong learning for individuals, and which gives improved creativity and innovations. This particular internships and field-based activity, cross-learning process will make people to have a creativity and also innovations. And very important, the beneficiaries, the stakeholders of student and the teachers will have a deeper understanding and the deeper understanding of the subject matter. When I read the theory, if for example Newton's third law or Newton's when you talk about evolution theory, every action there is a Newton's third law, every action there is opposite reaction. When they do experimentation, they learn. So then when you talk about deep learning or machine learning, when you talk about social work theories, when you talk about practice of social work or human resource management or commerce or accountancy or history, when go to the field and learn, there's a deeper learning understanding will happen in the subject. They see in their own eyes, they sense, they observe, they understand, and they understand with the knowledge. That's a deeper understanding of subject matter which they have. Then if we do that, there will be well-rounded individuals. What is a well-rounded individual? Is a dimension. There are 8 dimensions of wellness. It starts from emotional, financial, social, spiritual, occupational, physical, and intellectual. At the last is environment. There are 8 dimensions of wellness, which creates when you do holistic and multidisciplinary education, we are able to create a kind of the wellness to the students as well as the community which we are going to work. On the other side, when you talk about subject matter, the subject matter is not necessarily only on the knowledge and experience. It also helps you to have a proactive approach. What supposed to be, we have to look. Prospectively look at, retrospectively understand. Technology savvy, how it is helpful for us to have a technology. There are a lot of benefits for us to have a lifelong learning. It starts from nurturing curious minds, open minds to increase wisdom, and builds new skills, improves those who already have. Whatever I have, I will improve myself, improve memory, and increase self-confidence. When I'm confident, when I have knowledge, I'm confident. When I am confident, I will be able to deliver goods. There's a difference between innovations and creativity. If you look at creativity, is different from innovations. If innovations are an idea, process, creativity create through innovations it happen. When you have creativity, you will innovate. That is what the understanding. I hope I have done justice for whatever expected. Thank you so much for the wonderful opportunity. And I can listen to questions or anything which I left it, please. You can over to people, please. I hope I have delivered. I am able to cover the given time, 1 hour point of time. I could address the importance of having the holistic and multidisciplinary education in terms of having the new education policy with the framework, having SDG and the current trends in the global agenda. Thank you so much. Over to you. Any questions, any
Yeah,
clarifications?
that was a wonderful insight, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
May I now call upon Dr. Lakshmi ma'am to deliver the vote of thanks.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a great privilege for me to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks at the close of this enriching first day of the Professional Skill Development Program organized by Department of Commerce, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Ramapuram, Chennai. First and foremost, on behalf of the management, Dean Sir, VP Sir, Head of the Department of Commerce, faculty members, and the organizing team, and all the participants, I express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. K. Satyamurthy Sir, for gracing this session with his invaluable insights on the topic holistic and multidisciplinary education. His enriching talk helped us understand the broader perspectives of education in today's dynamic world and the importance of integrating diverse disciplines to create well-rounded professionals and individuals. Sir, your presentation was not only thought-provoking but also deeply inspiring, and I am certain all of us have gained much from your experience and knowledge. I would like to thank the management and the leadership of SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Department of Commerce, Ramapuram, Chennai, for their unwavering support in making this online program a reality. A special thanks to our coordinators and the technical team for ensuring the smooth conduct of this session. To all the participants who joined us from various locations and engaged wholeheartedly, thank you for your presence and active involvement. Your enthusiasm makes these initiatives meaningful. As we conclude today's session, let us carry forward the ideas and reflection shared, and I hope to see the same energy and participation in the upcoming sessions of this program. Once again, thank you all and have a wonderful evening. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you. Great. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, sir. Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sir. Sir,
Thank you.
wonderful
Thank you.
presentation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We
Thank
didn't
you,
wait
ma'am.
for
Thank
our interaction, sir. If it is
you.
a Zoom meeting or Google meeting, it will be easy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So,
ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you
Thank
very much.
you. Thank you.